every trip there's something different. There's something memorable, whether it's good or bad. Sometimes there's lessons that are learned on the trip. Like for me personally, whether it was of myself as a haumana or as a hula sister or as a granddaughter of the Kumu, which is not easy during competition. But every year there is something special. So if I had to pick one memory, then it would be the last time I got to walk with her on stage in '97. You know, my grandmother was so spiritually connected. She was such a wise woman. And, you know, when our name was announced as the winner, she kind of just looked at me and she's like, my work is done. And I just looked at her, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, because I was the one that didn't want to go back in '97. I was good. After '96, I'm like, okay, ready for a break, because she promised me '96 was our last year. And we did well in '96, and then she had said, you know, Maelia, I want one more year. And I'm like, oh, no. And all of my hula sisters, and I'm going to rat them out and throw them under the bus right here. So we had all had this little hui pu session, and we had said, okay, now we're going to be a united front, and when she asks us about next year, we're going to tell her, no, auntie, you know, Kumu, we have this to do, we have this to do, we have this to do. So the big question came up, and she goes, okay, how about next year? Are we going to do it? She's like, I really want to do it. So of course, me being the spokesperson, I say, oh, Gran, you know, it's like, I think we should take a break. You know, you promised us a break. And then all of the rats around me said, oh no, auntie, whatever you want to go back, we're behind you, and threw me under the bus. I was like, yeah, that was my memory. But, you know, and then she was mad at me for a while because I didn't want to do it. And you know, when she and I had finally talked about it, she goes, you know, babe, she's like, this is it. She's like, this is my year. And I was like, every year is your year. And I said, okay, but you promised me this is the last one. And she's like, I promise you. And I said, okay, what are we gonna do? And she goes, we're gonna do family. And so that was the year we worked on the Kilauea. And of course, her tutu man, Captain Thomas Long, was the captain of the Kilauea. You know, we got to do all kinds of research and archives and find out more wonderful things about him. And so both our kahiko and our awana had to do with the Kilauea. And I got to dance it with my cousin Ulalia and my hula sisters. And so when that moment came and they announced her name and she grabbed my hand and she said that, I never saw her look so happy. You know, and it was like, if you ever get to watch the video, she's literally dragging me across the stage to go get her award. And when we got back to the hotel, she goes, and now I'm finished. And then it was 2 weeks later, she was in the hospital with pneumonia, and 4 weeks later, she was gone. And so I think for me, that memory is just never question your kumu, what her intent or his intentions are, because somewhere deep in their na'au, they always know better than you. So that's my lasting memory.